Good morning, crazy crafters. This is Jenny from Celebrate the Journey. Can you believe it's November? It is pretty scary to be thinking that we'll be in just a couple short days, we'll be saying it's December. It just comes quicker and quicker, doesn't it? So I will give everybody a few minutes to catch up with us. I see Kathy's here. Thanks for joining us, Kathy. And we have a whole day of Eden's Garden for you today. So at 10, 12, 2, 4, 6, I think is the schedule. But you can always look on, the schedule is posted on this page. So look, and it's pinned to the top, so you should be able to find it. Good morning, Claudia. So Eden's Garden is a early release collection. That's what Stampin' Up! Calls it. It'll be in the new catalog that comes out in January. And they just let us have a little sneak peek of this one bundle or suite. It's nice. At least we know it's in the warehouse, and you know, with the supply chain issues we've been having, that's nice to know that this one is here and ready to go. And it is stunning. So since it's an early release, you can start ordering it tomorrow on November 2nd. And then it's available through January 3rd. And I'll tell you why that says that, because it's not really going to go totally away. Just parts of it are going to go away. So when you order Eden's Garden, you have choices. Of course, we all have choices. You can choose to order the bundle, and that's a 10% savings. So you would get the stamp set and the dies. And these are the pretty Eden dies. And that's $52. You can choose to add on or only order the specialty paper, this cotton paper, the gems, or you can order the entire suite, the gardens, they're calling it the Garden Collection, for $82. Now, of course, you have options here. You can order this and just the paper, or just the paper and just the jewels, or just the stamp set and don't worry about the dies and get the paper. There's so many choices. You know, that's the good thing. The bad thing is this paper is while supplies last. This paper will not be in the new catalog in January. And I mean, yeah, and it is some of the prettiest paper. So I would be concerned that it will sell out even before January. So let's look at the paper. Oh, and the Designer Series paper is $15. You get 12 sheets. The reason it's a little higher than some is because it's a specialty paper, and it has lots of gold foil and stuff on it. Let's see. So this one isn't that pretty? You can see the gold shimmer on there, and the back side, perfect.
Here's something I found on the web. According to wikipedia.org, Lexico Online Dictionary defines maroon as a brownish red.
I don't know why FO decided to tell us that, but whatever, I'm sorry. She's awake this morning. This would be perfect for a masculine card. I can see it with the shirt dies. Be nice. This one is the soft succulent more with the gold. And then splatter on the back. This one looks like little vines. They could be going up or down. This is Evening Evergreen is the color. here's another. Now, can you see matching these two to make a nice masculine card? Or a sympathy card. You don't really probably want lots of gold and glitter on sympathy cards, but these colors would work perfect. And this one is a little mix of gold, soft succulent, and evening evergreen. And a pretty design on the back. Let's see, I don't think... Here's soft succulent with gold, little berries mixed in, and some dots. So the back is very, very versatile. Oh, here's one more. Now this one's no gold on this one. Oh, just little gold dots. So this would work well for sympathy because it's not too overbearing with the gold. And little ombre on the back. Ooh, can you see that be a beach scene? Or the mountain dyes? Lots of choices. So that is the Specialty Designer Series paper. We'll be using some of that today. And this paper here is called cotton paper, and it's $8. You get 10 sheets, 5 of each. It's thin like, it's not as thin as tissue paper. It's not as thick as a piece of computer paper. So that's about the only way I can describe it. And it feels like a piece of cotton fabric. It's like homemade paper, you know, handcrafted paper. And it's these two colors, evergreen and succulent. So you could do lots of pretty things with this one. And then we have the gems. They're called Garden Gems, and they are $7. And iridescent kind of regular rhinestone cut. And this isn't teardrop. I don't know what that cut's called. It's iridescent, but it's a lighter color. So these are more the evergreen and these are more the succulent. The gems are beautiful. I only ordered one pack. I don't know why I need to order another one. Tomorrow I'll order another pack. So you might want bits and pieces of this. You might want all of it. You have those choices. I'm not sure if we've posted the flyer in Crazy Crafters, but we will. So I'm going to demonstrate a card today. It's a little fancier for me. You know, I'm into simple, but this morning I'm going to go fancy. This afternoon at 6 o'clock, it will be simple. So you'll get a little bit of both. So today I'm going to show you how to do this. I think this is a trifold card with a belly band, because I honestly think this is the prettiest paper I've ever seen. And we want everybody to enjoy this paper. So we're going to highlight each of the patterns. It's not every pattern, but almost every pattern. And also the directions for this card will be in my newsletter that goes out tomorrow. So if you want the measurements and the directions, make sure that you are subscribed to my newsletter. So as Dixie said, Jenny, you create on the fly. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to create on the fly today. And, oh, I wonder where my... Yeah, I did not put my blocks on. So we'll just kind of work through this together. So this is a 12 by 5.5 inch. It will be 12 by 5.5 inch piece of paper. So you need to We don't use the 12-inch paper very often unless you're a scrapbooker. And if you are a scrapbooker, you probably have some. But if you don't, it's well worth ordering just one pack of the basic white and the very vanilla for when you want to do a fancy fold or a card that calls for 12-inch paper. So this is 5.5 by 12. And we're going to do some scoring. Make sure that cutting blade is out of the way. And we are going to score on the long side at 4 1/4. I always have to double check, because otherwise I make mistakes. At 7 1/4. And 10 1/4. Now we'll do some cutting again in a minute, but right now we're just going to do the scoring. And my bone folder is hiding. Here it is. We'll do some. Love my bone folder, but it needs to be neon colored, I think, so I can find it. Where's our other score? Oh, here. Wrong side. When it's white paper, I struggle with that. And now we're going to do, it's kind of an accordion fold, I guess. Now we need to decorate 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. If you wanted to decorate that one, you could. We could use another piece of the paper. That would work, wouldn't it? So the first piece we're going to do is this one. Oh, actually, that's not true. I want to use this pretty die here. And I really didn't think it would look pretty on the white, so I felt like it needed to have gold, the green behind it, and we're going to use gold foil to cut it. And I want that to have adhesive on the back, and I have just this small piece left over from something, so we'll snip that off and use our adhesive sheets. You know, if you're ever thinking about, if you've got an order going in and it's not quite up to the level to save on shipping or tax, throw in adhesives. We all need adhesives, and we use them every day, so can never, actually, you want a true confession, I have run out of glue dots. And I don't know how that happened. But, so this will go in the cut and emboss machine. But I have glue dots in my shopping cart for tomorrow, so that will take care of that little mistake. Now this piece of evergreen is 5 1/4, and that looks like about 1 1/2 or 1 1/4. Not real sure. was just a scrap piece I grabbed. Now I do need to trim this. I wanted the tape to be on the lacy side. There. That piece of tape, adhesive sheet, was a little bit narrower, but our DSP is going to hold down the extra edge, so I'm not worried about that. Looks like, oops, there's one. These, even though this is detailed, these popped out pretty quick, didn't they? Now we can peel our adhesive off. Well, how did trick or treat go for you guys? We had the doorbell rang one time, and it was 3 kids, and that was it. We never had any others. But we live on a back street where there's still so much construction. I think kids didn't walk down here. We have candy left over. Robert's already hidden it from me, so that's a good thing. And now we can put this right there, and it will, and then the designer series paper will cover that up. So let's put that on. I am so in love with this Stampin' Seal. I don't know why it took me a year to do that. Now this is will be 5 1/4. And then we need to see how wide it needs to be. Because it would be 4 1/4, except I've taken away some of the territory. Hate to throw that away. We might use it for something. Let's see what we need right here. We need about 3 1/4. There we go. That fills in pretty nicely. Seems like I could have made it be a little bit more, but I'm happy with it. I think it'll be all right. So we'll adhere that on. Isn't that pretty? Now this is fine. This could be a card front. Put a sentiment on here and you're done. That would be a nice, easy card, wouldn't it? But we're not going easy today. So this next piece is a 5 1/4 by 2 3/4. And we're going to cut 2, but different designs here. I think this is already 2 3/4. So we're going to do it 5 1/4. And our next piece is the Oh, the one that's kind of green. Yes, here's the piece from, that's 5 1/4. I mean, 2 3/4, and we'll make it 5 1/4. And then we need our front piece, and that's the one that's my favorite. Design. Actually, I've done this one a little different, so we're going to do it with this one. And this will be 1 1/2. I think I want to make sure that the leaves are going that way. Let's do 2 of these so we can do the inside. I really had never thought of that. No, let's let the inside be a different pattern. We might as well use all our pretty paper. So let's do this one at 1 1/2. You know, I heard somebody say, you got to use this paper because you can always buy more. And that's true. Except for this one, that when it sells out, it's gone. So you do want to think about that. Now we've got our pieces and we can put this together. So let's see what's going to go here. That, I think, it looks pretty there. Do we want that one? I think this one. So then this one will go on the inside. And this one will go here. Ooh, lots of decisions. But that's the nice thing. You can mix and match. Do you enjoy doing paper piecing with your stamping? I think this paper would be lovely if you do that. Now, while that piece has a little, there we go. Put this one here. Okay, Robert can turn down candy, but I can't. Even if it's, I buy candy that I say I don't like, but I'll eat it anyway. So, it doesn't, I don't understand it. I think it's just that I like sugar. Look at that. That's like a paper sampler of all the pieces. Wouldn't this be pretty for, I mean, this would make gorgeous Christmas cards. Just, or one of those samplers in a frame if you do framed samplers. So many options. Okay, now this is the base of our card. We need to do some stamping and a sentiment. I'm going to do a little banner here, so let's trim that. This is actually probably no measurements whatsoever. Just that it's a 1/2 inch. And we'll make it about 4 inches. This could be any length you wanted as long as it was at least 5. No more than 5. And I think that's all I need of that. And we'll do a little mermaid tail at the bottom. Now, yesterday I was using the large die and I put adhesive on the back, and this was the inside piece. So guess what? We will not waste that piece that has adhesive on it. We're going to cut 2 of these to use to decorate our insides. You can see this is fancier than I usually do, isn't it? But it doesn't hurt to get fancy once in a while. Sure, Nick Kathy, of course I will be posting a card, and like I said, you'll get the directions on my newsletter tomorrow. So, and I think you are subscribed to my newsletter, so if you're not, let me know and I will subscribe you. And these directions will also, I'll put them on YouTube sometime, either today or tomorrow. It's hard to keep up with all the places that you can post, but I know not everybody does Facebook, so having YouTube has been kind of fun. All right, here's our little, one of our little garlands. What is that the Romans wore on their heads? Laurels there. So I just thought that was pretty to put that little. Now we need a place for a sentiment, and I believe I did that about 2.5 by 4. Let's double check. That's exactly right. I don't think I even have a piece of basic white here. Amazing. So we'll cut a piece of 4. By 2.5. And now let's get our stamps out and do some stamping. If I knew where I had put my stamps at. Here it is, hiding under the paper. Everything hides under paper. On the front, I've been using Hello There. And on the inside, I did Dear Friend, How Are You? But You know, as long as your sentiment will fit on your belly band, you can change these out. So that's not a problem. So we'll go ahead and line these up. I love a card you can send to just about anybody. And this one works. And so this is just one of those scraps that we have left over. I believe it's 2 3/4. That's where I want it centered. And so we're going to cut that first so I can center it. I saved most of these little 1/4, 1/2 inch pieces until they get out of control. And then I ditch them. It's nice to, I'll go ahead and cut 2 just in case I mess up. And if I have an extra, then I can always make another card. Somebody stamped this in Evening Evergreen. I want my sentiment to be dark. And we'll see if we can line this up fairly good. Now this would be easy. If you just wanted it to say hello, just ink up the hello. That was pretty good. Amazing. And then, dear friend, how are you? Now, you could do the same thing. If you wanted this to say, hello, dear friend, you can do some selective stamping and inking and rework that sentiment. We'll go ahead and put this on the inside here. Make sure this is ready to go, because we're going to use every little scrap that we have. Foil actually is not very expensive, but it's so pretty I don't like for it to go to waste either. And we want that over to the side so that it, when you fold it, you won't see it. And then we'll put this here. When you use scraps of adhesive sheet, you end up not having that nice little starting point. You can usually make it work. Now our inside is all, our card's pretty much done, but now we need to make our belly band. So I used the Tasteful Labels die, but any die or punch, let's see, for this one, that one would work. Lots of choices that you have to do that. And we need to die cut a piece of Evening Evergreen. This is a card that I have ready to go, and I'm going to cut this out of the middle so I can still use it on my card front. So I'm not wasting paper here. I would not normally cut out of the middle, but I know that the DSP is going to cover up this hole. I think I showed you that trick the other day. See, now if I put this on top, nobody knows that there's a hole on the back. And we need our pretty little banner die. And we're going to cut that out of some gold. Now this one does not need adhesive on it because it hangs off the edge and you don't want your adhesives in the wrong place. Now here's a piece of gold and we will run that. See, I think I have another one. No, that one will work. And we'll run this through. This cut and emboss machine is getting a workout. Especially with Christmas and Thanksgiving. Thank you, Gay. I hope this card will come out pretty. The thing is it's pretty easy. It's just got a lot of pieces to it. But if you cut all the pieces ahead of time, you could make 3 or 4 of these in about an hour. If you do all of them like a assembly line. Trying to think of that word. Robert says I don't think good in the morning. That I can't remember words. And that's probably true. We'll just put this on here with our... We're not going to put that on with dimensionals. I wonder if I could pull that off. We better let that go. But I think what I can do is just trim that. Just a hair. Now this we will put on with dimensionals. And since that's going to hang off the end, we won't put any adhesive there. I'm putting quite a few dimensionals here because a belly band does get a workout with people pulling it on and off. Okay, there we go. And now we need to work on our belly band. So I need 2 pieces of cardstock, soft succulent and evening evergreen. And I'll cut on a long piece. So this needs to be like 1 inch. Now you might have a scrap of that. You don't have to cut it, a new piece, but I didn't. And this one is 1/2 inch. That seems, no. This needs to be more like 3/4. Not, like I said, I'm not here today. We'll use that for something else. We can use that for one of those skinny little banners. Yes, that works better. You want to layer it with each piece. And this doesn't need to be 11. We're going to make it We're just going to trim a little bit off, and we might end up trimming some more off. So now we can layer these two. Looks like my blade is ready to be replaced. This really pretty gold ribbon. We're going to put that on there. You don't see a whole lot of this on the card, but it's so pretty. It makes, it's worth doing it. Now this ribbon you could put on, I guess, with some glue dots or green Tombow, but I really think ribbon does better if you use tear and tape. So that's another item to throw in your cart. So you always have some on hand. Run that down the middle. Do some trimming here. Don't need all that hanging off. And here's our belly band. Now you don't want this super tight because then people can't get it on and off. So you just fold it and then let's see if that's gonna slide well. Pretty good. I think I will actually move there. That'll make it a little bit looser. Now we're going to adhere these two together, definitely with the tear and tape. Because we want that to be very secure. We're going to put some on the top edge and the bottom edge because of the ribbon. And then I'll put a piece here. Things don't stick to ribbon, especially that shiny gold ribbon. It's kind of, I don't know, metallic. So it doesn't adhere quite as well as a soft ribbon. There we go. There's our belly band. It's going to slide nicely. And we'll put this. I was wondering, I was just looking, should we put another one of these? I think so, right there. So let's run one through with our scrap. I mean, you can never have too much bling, can you? Well, maybe a little bit. But we'll sneak this one in there just to add a little more interest to the front of our card. Now we're going to put this on with dimensionals, and so we can run them right down the middle. Well, actually, I think I'll put them on here. Ooh, I wonder would it work to... These are thicker. I don't want that thickness. I was wondering about using, I'll just use the edge, and that will take care of that, won't it? So we are going to put it here. I want to make sure it's sticking to the cardstock. Sometimes I just have to talk my way through these cards and what works the best. I bet you do too. Do you talk to your cards? I went out with a friend on Saturday and she said she got mad at her sewing machine and she was talking to it, and her husband said, "Who are you talking to?" And she said, "My sewing machine." I talked to cardstock and ribbon. Now what that's going to work well to hold that on there nicely. So let's add this little laurel leaf. Since it's hanging off, I don't want adhesive on the whole thing. I'm not going to let it hang off too much. I don't want it fragile. But there we go. That glue will dry and we can rub the excess off. Now remember, we've got these beautiful gems, so we're going to have to use them because they are so pretty. We use the large ones here. It's hard to decide which ones you want to use. It's hard for me. I think I'm going to put one. I wonder, yeah, I like that. Let's put one of the small ones. There. What a decision. And another one. Let's put this here. I wonder if we can move this. There we go. Push all those down. Now we can put a few on our card. On the, as long as they don't block the fold. We'll put, this is real sparkly, isn't it? Okay, let's see what happens now when we open up our card. I think it's the word surprise and delight. They will be so happy to get this pretty card. Isn't that beautiful? There's this one and this one. And see, that stands up nicely too. So I hope you've enjoyed a trip in the garden. And we will, I think Claudia will be back here at 12 o'clock. So you had coffee with me and you can have lunch with Claudia. So here's our card from Eden's Garden. So thanks for joining me today. I sure appreciate you showing up. I know you're probably tired from trick or treat, but this is a nice way to start November. See you at 12. Bye.